Okay, today I'm going to do a little review of not my M7060. I need to do one though, I've not done one yet. But what I've been pulling with it, my Rhino TS12. Stealth, I think they call it. Bush hog. Or you northerners call them brush hogs, but we call them bush hogs. I'm in the deep south. And I think there's really only one good user video on this by Spring Hollow Hay Farm, and it's a couple years old. I got this mower last year, so I've had it used it a full year now, and just thought I'd give you my thoughts on it. Yes, it's green and I have an orange tractor, but colors really don't matter to me. And the reason I have the Rhino is because my local Kubota dealer, no names mentioned, that sells Land Pride. I was interested in the Land Pride 12 foot, but they wanted $1,500 more for it than I gave my nearest John Deere dealer for this Rhino. And after owning it and knowing a little more about it, I am glad I went with the Rhino. There's just several things I like. The overall design, how it works. I don't know how the Land Pride would have cut, but I am thrilled with the cut this mower gives. You can see a little bit of it right there where I made a few passes through here, but it will literally cut like a lawnmower if you want it to. I've actually mowed a big section. I've got a couple acres of yard I mow with a regular lawnmower, but I cut the open section with this a few times when it was dry and I wouldn't make tracks with my tractor in the yard, and it did a better job than my lawnmower. It will cut really low if you want it to. And just go over a few things. Of course, setting your mow height, that's super easy. This is your transport lock right here. Set your mow height. You just add or take off ever how many of your cylinder stops you want there. Super easy, takes a second. When you get one of these things, you need to go through the setup process, which will take you an hour or two the first time. Really, I've not had to do anything since I set it up. If I had to do it again, I could probably do it in 30 minutes, but you know, new to the machine and the process, and I was reading the steps and wanted to make sure I did it right. I think the big thing in setting it up is make sure you have it on a good level cement surface, which I did, and take the time and get it right, and you will be more than glad you did with the way it cuts after that. It's kind of set it up and forget it. I'm not going to go over a lot of the things that Spring Hollow went over on his. I will say he had mentioned these links had broken on his, and he thought they had upgraded them. These right here, I think they must have, because those things are pretty stout. I don't see how they could ever break, so they must have upgraded them. It has the lights on it, which I really like. I travel on roads a lot of times, and the blinking yellow lights blink with your yellow on the tractor, and the reds will blink with your turn signals. Really nice. It runs on one hydraulic hose, which is right there, and plugs in right there. I'd thought about getting the kit Rhino sells to make it where I could operate my wings independently, but after running a while, I really don't need that too often, so I think I'm gonna leave it how it is. The skid shoes on here are fantastic. They're really heavy duty. The chains are really nice. The skid shoes are replaceable also. They bolt on, but it'll be several years before you ever wear those out. I know on the older units they had a round tube back here, which I'm not sure if that wasn't better, but they just have a bolt-on flat plate. So if you're backing over very heavy stuff, which this unit really isn't made to back over, I mean, cut big heavy stuff, I think 2-inch would be really the max for it. But I mainly just mow pastures and small saplings, so it's not a worry. I have the foam filled airplane tires. Really like those. You won't ever have to worry with them. Maintenance is super easy. All the gearboxes have these plastic. I just paused it. All these gearboxes have plastic, and I say plastic because they are plugs that you can check without a tool. Check the gearbox grease, but you have to be really careful, and you know how us farmers are, screwing it back in. I didn't do it, but I almost did. Be really easy to cross thread, so easy to check, but be careful or you will strip that plug out cross threading it. There's 22, if I counted correct, grease fittings on this thing. If you count the one on the jack here, the jack pins and stores right there. All the grease fittings are easy to get to. The trick being is take your PTO off, which has the disc you pull back real easy, and right here on your tongue they have a little holder that flips out. You set your PTO shaft there, and that way you can easily turn the PTO by hand and access any of the grease fittings you can't get to normally. And to get to your gearbox, your splitter box right here, it does not have the plastic. You do have to take a wrench on that. I don't know why they did that, but that's the only one that you have to take a wrench to check the oil level. But that said, if this gearbox leaks, you'll see it because it will be on the deck, because all the seals are on top of the deck. Whereas if your center or side gearbox is leaked, they would be leaking underneath and you wouldn't be able to tell it. Okay, you might be wondering why my PTO guard is missing on the back side. Well, I'll tell you, that was my fault. I goofed up one day when I used it, and I had my lift arms up, partially up, just in the right spot where when you turn sharp, it would hit the guard. And I actually, you can see where it was hitting the PTO shaft, and I almost damaged that shaft not knowing it. It's a bad thing with a cab tractor. You can't hear things if you have the air conditioner on and the music playing. And so I haven't got a new cover. Don't know if I will. I'm never around the shaft when it's turning. If you know much about farming and PTO stuff, you won't be around one either when they're turning. But the reason it turns so sharp is this hitch. It took a little bit of getting used to. The hooking up isn't bad once you've done it a time or two. Get used to it. You jack it up and keep it right level. If you park it on a good level piece of ground, it will be right when you back up to it. But you do have to have wrenches to tighten it. I actually just have a wrench and a 1/2 inch battery powered impact to make that quick and easy. But it swivels right here. It swivels sideways right here. And it also swivels back here. So the benefit of that is it will turn super tight. The downfall is if your PTO arms aren't out of the way, they will hit the PTO shaft. So I just keep mine you keep them all the way up. I figured they're more out of the way when they're down, so I just keep mine all the way down when I'm mowing. What else was I going to say about this? Oh, the tight turns. I really like it as long as my PTO shaft isn't getting hit by the lift arm. This thing, you can see these trees I've mowed around. The big trees are really easy, but it will mow around about a 1-foot diameter tree in one pass. You can literally turn that hard and watch it and just walk right around that tree. It is amazing. It's almost like you have a 0-turn mower. My tractor turns real short too, but you can roll this thing around, and this, say if you're turning this way, this tire will literally stand still and you can just pivot around. In fact, it'll turn so sharp you actually have to watch that you don't get into a tree. But once you do it a few times, you'll become a pro at it, and it's quicker and easier to mow around trees and objects than it is with a 3-point bush hog. Much quicker, mow around it closer and easier than a 3-point bush hog. I had to see it to believe it, but it will. One thing to note, the guards are pretty stout. This piece right here, you see it's got a little bow in it. That's just the guard itself. That's what happened when I was mowing through some trees at night, and I cut a little close going kind of fast, and I hit a pretty good sized tree, and it literally just knocked the whole mower over to the side and pulled my whole tractor sideways. But that's the only damage it did, was bent that plate. I could take it off and beat it back straight, but it's not hurting anything, and I figure if I leave it, that'll kind of be a reminder, and maybe I won't do it again. But that's about it. The blades are easy to get to. You flip the wings up, you can get to the blades real easy, and with it set up all the way up, very easy to get to the center blades. Yeah, I'm doing that, because Spring Holla, if he watches this, he says that all the time. Sorry about that, buddy. But I really like this mower. No regrets. I would buy it again, and I highly recommend it. Another good thing, it's really short actually with the way the rear wheels are designed, instead of sticking way out like a lot of bat wings do. That'll get you on a shorter trailer. When the wings are folded up, look right here. Look where that fold is. It is no wider than my tractor. It will actually fold up and go through probably a 7-foot gate, 8 foot easily. My tractor tires are in fairly close. It'll fit on a 7-foot wide trailer. And you see your inner tires here are further in than your tractor. One thing to note with those center tires being so close together, if you're on uneven ground, you have your bat wings folded up, be careful because it's top heavy and it will try to tip over on you. Don't ask me how I know that. But yep, the TS12, happy with my purchase. Not many reviews out there, but I like it. I recommend it. And that's it.